What is up, YouTube? My Cowboys family here, bringing you guys the latest update on our very own Dallas Cowboys. And of course, as always, thank you so much for joining us here tonight as we wrap up, of course, our Dallas Cowboy News Week. You know, I'm still kind of dealing with all the post-draft effects, right?
Oh, speaking of some post-stream, into the stream effects, SnugX is in the house, becoming a member here per Skeptical Fan. We'll discuss that in a minute here. Much love to everybody, by the way, chilling here with us, hitting that like, subscribe, and that notification bell as we're starting off another Cowboys chat. But yes, the last one of this week, we crowned some champions. We'll discuss that in a minute, baby. First and foremost, what just went down? I missed it in the chat.
Yes, Skeptical Fan officially kicking things off here by gifting a Navy Blue membership to someone here in the chat, and the lucky person just happened to be SnugX, and you know why. He's usually here. So thank you so much, Skeptical. Appreciate you.
He's always there watching, huh?
Of course, if you do got them, go ahead and drop them if you got them. Those wonderful emojis there in the chat, guys. And of course, like we said, as we get rolling here tonight, guys, Skeptical Fan's not the only one who's going to be getting some shout-outs here tonight.
He may be getting a whole week of shout-outs, though, next week. We'll discuss that in a minute. As you can see, we got a lot to talk here about. It's kind of like a 2-day stream tonight, but it is going to be a quicker one. So getting your thoughts and info, and input here as fast as you can. But yes, a little bit in the draft. Dak and Dak-Lamb getting closer and closer. Zach Martin, the King Zach. And, of course, you're going to say the incredible bulk, as I'm going to call him, Micah Parsons.
Yes.
We'll discuss that and more here tonight, guys. And, of course, shouting out those that represent My Cowboys Family streams on the nightly, on the weekly, sometimes monthly, yearly. So much love to the great Jason Renfro, the sponsor of this week. Just dominated it, took it over last week, and now also took over the Cash App last week. So he had the full reign of things here when it comes to the shout-out segments. So appreciate Mr. Jason Renfro here repping that Randy White, 54 from the 80s of our Dallas Cowboys. So appreciate Jason Renfro on that side. I will say this, he is currently the leader in the Cash App, not by much. I think it's like 3 or 5 or 6, but he's in the lead right now in the Cash App. Really the only person in there, I think, right now. So he looks like he might be going back to back like our 90s Cowboys. Much love to Jason Renfro. Marco Seppian with 98 points on that stream, boss. He still's got that for 10 weeks in a row. My goodness, that's another record there. He also has the all-time sponsor of the week streak, 15 in a row. But as we're looking to a new week, baby, you're seeing here Mr. Marco Seppian trying to take that sponsor of the week back, because currently, after doing the calculations, even after the drop by Skeptical Fan, Marco Seppian is still in a slight lead, trying to take over that sponsor of the week again. So again, it's a battle to the end here. But right now, you got Skeptical Fan right behind. I think he's about 15 back on Marco Seppian.
After this last drop?
After this drop. So we'll see what happens tonight. It's the last night, so we'll be crowning some champs. The sponsor week will be announced tonight, along with the Cash App. Right now, Jason leads that, trying to go back-to-back. And as of right now, Marco Seppian, stream boss, and also the leader on the overall board, edging out Skeptical Fan as we speak. Now, baby, I want to say one last thing, because we kind of have a new award thing going up on the top of the board. We do have a new membership level, which is that over everything level. But we have also the gifting option here, as you just saw with Skeptical Fan pre-stream and SnugX getting the membership for a month, right? And you can have a choice to continue it. You have a choice to upgrade if you wanted to, or just drop out of it if you want to as well. So again, you can check it out. That's the great thing about gifting memberships. You can only do it if you're a member already, right? Like if you're in a membership, you can gift them. But we also, when you do gift them, that is such a new thing we have here, and it is a bonus to us. We're going to have our leaderboard here for those that gift, at least like the top 3 people that are gifters, you can say. And right now, Scorpio has 1 on that board. And as of right now, Skeptical Fan has 5, now 6. So he's coming for that top spot. It looks like he'll be repping that spot next weekend. But yeah, we're going to keep those leaderboards going, I think, for a month, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes.
So yeah, we're going to keep that going and showing the love for those that do it. Oh, damn.
Skeptical Fan said,
he's breaking everything right here.
My beer.
What many people just got
because
that, baby?
5 more memberships.
My goodness.
Were just gifted by the man, Skeptical Fan. Woo!
Oh, my
Thank you so much, Skeptical. First of all, huge shout out to you.
And I think I know who's in first place now.
Yes, I do think that officially does put him in first place.
So this
over
is a little takeover by the man always staying skeptical. And you saw our little bouncing heads the other day. You're going to see them again. You're going to see today a little bit different.
Yes, so congratulations to Tommy Montoya, Burn Bar, C. Bass, Eric Wallace, and D. Link.
Wow.
All in that navy blue membership.
Much love to Skeptical Fan for making this happen for these fantastic family members in the chat. You just added 6 more to that total. You had 5. Now you're at 11. He's in the lead. Scorpio has 1. And he's in the lead on the overall board. He's on the lead on the gifting board. Man, much love to the man, Skeptical Fan, who's in that star level membership. And that's what I want to actually shout that out, because we do have to shout out our star level members.
Yes.
On the nightly. And yeah, Skeptical Fan, first in that star level membership, top shelf. And now we have a new star level membership.
That's right.
Person in there. And we got the man all the way from Australia, Lincoln Kane. All the way from
Australia.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's repping that star over there.
Exactly.
Well, I'm just saying down under out there. But I appreciate Lincoln Kane, the great Lincoln Kane there on his channel. Check it out. But he's in the star level now. 2 people in the star level membership. And so he's also on the overall board. I think he's tied for 4th place with A. Lavelle. And he, of course, in the star level membership. So he just jumps right on the top of that. Appreciate you, Lincoln Kane. Appreciate you, Skeptical Fan, both star level members. And, of course, Skeptical right now with 11 memberships leading the way currently right now on the gifting side of things. Jason Renfro coming for the crown, and maybe you have to pass that sponsor of the week to Marco Seppian, who currently was in first place. So now it looks like that's going to be passed on maybe to Skeptical Fan. That's a battle. Right. It's a battle back and forth. We'll see how this thing goes, baby. But before we can go any farther, we got to shout out the other ways of dropping love in here, not just super chat membership, which are back here on My Cowboys Family, but baby, what else? How are some other ways you can drop a little love here and other paths of doing it?
Again, you do have the Cash App and Venmo, My Cowboys Family, right? PayPal link, and last but not least, the Streamlabs link lets your comment show up right here, just like a super chat would, of course, if you want to show the love those ways as well.
So again, a lot of different ways to do it, but super chat's easy, right in the chat, and of course, memberships has many perks. You can check it out. The link you can hit exclamation point member, and anybody can do that, and you can see the links for that. It's also pinned in this chat. It's also pinned in the description. So check it all out. Part of the experience here on My Cowboys Family. We'll get rolling on that definitely in a month. As the months grow, you'll see the membership grow and new emojis and other things here, other perks, other fun stuff here in My Cowboys Family that you only get in Navy Blue, Silver, Star, or over everything membership levels. Now, baby, we had we had our pictures one day. We had our cartoon caricatures another day. Today, it's just us.
Yes.
Yeah, straight in the person in flesh. Yeah, you can see I trimmed it up a little bit here. That little.
Yeah, and no more Moses MCF.
No more of that ultra beard, right? So, guys, thank you again for chilling here with us. We know we want every year. Hopefully next year we want 7. That's what I'm hoping. I have to throw this shirt away.
I'm gonna say I want to make this shirt useless for you.
That's what I want. I want to put it back there in like encased or something, so we remember these years. So. No matter how difficult it is, we want that 6 and beyond. I want to know who's in the house tonight, rocking the spot, talking Cowboys here on this finale of the week.
Here we go. We have Nate Rosario. What's up? I wish I had the superpower to make the Cowboys win Super Bowls. That would be a great superpower. Oh, Rolando Rodriguez in the house. What's up? Much love. We have Dallas Forever. What's up? Hello and hi.
Forever.
Skeptical Fan, always staying skeptical, and of course sharing that love as well. Tommy Montoya in the house, who, by the way, was one of the lucky membership winners.
I love seeing it up there. You can see all their names in the membership, like the hit in the recent activity, the ones that were gifted from Skeptical Fan.
So let's see, D-Link, of course, as well. Another one of those lucky winners. So, by the way, do you get like a notification or something if you get gifted one? I'm assuming
I think you have to turn on to your account, has to be open for gifting. So, I mean...
Not sure how that works, but either way.
Stream, so
let me see. Eric Wallace, much love. C. Bass, Burn Bar, of course. Retro Scotty in the house saying, is Micah abusing steroids now, right? So,
that's not really Micah, but people think he's bulking up, so we're going to talk about what he's doing.
How bulky, right? Just a little bit of jokes here, right? We like to have some fun. Bama Fan, of course, representing.
Bama.
Scorpio in the house.
A lot of membership people here.
Snug X, you know why he's here. The Lunatic, much love to you. Always, Puro Pinche Cowboys.
Siempre.
Let me see. Mike Aldana, hello and hi. El Cool in the house. Madman, what's up? Let me come back down. Yeah, so actually, so Scorpio said you get a message pinned at the top of the chat, and you also get an email when you do get it. Perfect. Okay. So that's good to know. I wasn't sure how that worked, so,
yeah. And again, it can only be done when we're live. You can go into the membership anytime. You can drop thanks anytime. You can
only gift it while we're live.
You can only gift memberships when we're live.
So there you go, an extra exclusive perk.
I love that new that's the first we're getting. This is the first week of this that we've ever had on My Cowboys Family. So we're new to this too. That's why we're making it a bigger deal, and we do truly appreciate it. It's a way of people seeing if they like memberships, if they want to stay in certain levels of membership or grow in it, or they want to just jump out. It at least gives everybody a nice little taste.
And of course, those emojis. I love them.
I had another one in there, guys. The more people that join, the more emojis I can keep building into. And of course, during the regular season, we change the emojis weekly depending on the team we play. You know how we do here, so it gets even more fun in there. But right now, we got some Clown Jones on Jerry and Steven. But because some people like the clowns in the sense of calling them out for some clownery from the front office. But either way, guys, front office did speak today in a somber way, and.
Again, Chris Plumage, what's up? Hello and hi. Yes. So, everybody, thanks for hanging with us. And, baby,
let's get rolling.
Go ahead and take it away.
I'll leave it with Jerry Jones here, kind of starting it off, representing the star for the Cowboys.
I feel like there's something between us.
Well, Jerry's in here between us. But look, Jerry Jones and the Cowboys today sent out a somber message, of course, to what happened in Allen, Texas yesterday. I mean, not to go too much into that. It's horrible. We all have seen this before, and it just keeps happening. And, Texas, which is a state that is like second most, I think, most armed, number one armed state in the country, and yet why does this keep happening? If guns
tragedy struck very much close to home, though, in this case.
Yeah, we'll discuss that in a minute, of course. But first, shouting out the man Brandon James Shea in the house.
He dropped his membership message. Much love.
Yes.
He said Patrick Mahomes' Kentucky Derby message to Mattress Mac after costing the gambler millions.
He bet the wrong guy there. But I saw that. We'll talk a little bit about that with the Cowboy segment of things with Mahomes saying hi to Dak, and CeeDee Lamb. We'll talk about it. But
always bet on the winning horse.
Yeah, exactly. So hey, listen, Mattress Mac, we know he put a lot of money on the Cowboys, and we lost to the Niners, unfortunately, in that game that he put all that money on. But either way, we'll talk about that in a minute here, Brandon. I promise. Much love to Brandon, who's in the Navy Blue Crew, by the way. Appreciate him on that side as well. So, again, the Cowboys did have a little bit to say about this Allen, Texas shooting. This, again, guys, is about 10 miles. This occurred about 10 miles from the Cowboys team facility. Keep that in mind. At least 9 people were killed, I think. 9, I think it was. And I know the gunman was also killed. I know that this was... a lot of people injured as well. Horrible situation. The Cowboys sent out a statement, that Jerry Jones's statement, I guess, through the Cowboys. He said, quote, "So deeply saddened to see the senseless and tragic loss of life yesterday in Allen. Our hearts and prayers are with the victims and their families, their families, and our community." Now, look, I'm not going to go too much into it. I'm going to say just a quick thing here. But first and foremost, Jerry Jones' statements are great and all. Thoughts and prayers are great and all, whatever. But in the end, it has to be about making changes, whatever that may be, whatever you think that change would be. Jerry Jones and his Cowboy representation here saying this, that's okay. It's what you got to do, I guess, nowadays. But Jerry Jones, to me, it's more about where did he give his donation money, and that was to Abbott in Texas, who is obviously less regulation. So we'll put it that way. So if the Cowboys front office really cares and the representation, they would do more than just thoughts and prayers. They would do action. Anyways, and that's it. That's your political moment for a second. Let's keep it rolling here, because there was also yesterday, or 2 days ago, I think it was, at a Walmart, Greg Hardy. And of course, not saying Carolina Panther or this team or that team. No, Dallas Cowboy Greg Hardy is what they refer to him, of course. But he is in Texas. I think he was in Garland, Texas, working in a Walmart. Now you're wondering, why is he in there, working at a Walmart? He's made nearly $24 million playing in the NFL, even with all the things he did or accused of. And
we've seen players blow some money, but not working at the Walmart in Garland, Texas.
Right now,
your money.
This happened a couple of days ago. He went on his Instagram Live, and he said that basically saying he's selling Spectrum packages at Walmart in Garland, Texas. He went from playing in the NFL, basically fighting in the MMA and the UFC. Let me rephrase that. Fighting in the UFC, and now he is basically the sales pitch guy at your local Walmart, trying to sell you Spectrum packages in Texas. So,
and thank you, Jason, for the $1 holler in the classic. Go Cowboys! To kick things off today on the drop of love in that way.
Well,
at least.
I think that's true. It's the first drop, isn't it? Everything else has been membership gifting. So Jason Renfro, let me jot you down here as he stays in the running with that dollar drop. He's still the Cash App leader, and he's up on that board, man, with the dollar holler. Again, Mark Hoseppian, 96 points on the stream, boss. Appreciate you. The great Jason Renfro, the Cash App King / sponsor of the week. We'll see if he back-to-backs anything else. If maybe the Cash App, maybe more. We'll see. Much love, Jason Renfro. Now, Greg Hardy, guys, again, 34 years old currently. All right, not playing in the NFL anymore, of course. Any thoughts on this? Because to me, he was like, man, I really respect the 9-to-5 people. I didn't know this was this difficult. He's like, I mean, I've never worked a 9-to-5 in my job.
I think it just goes to show that, it doesn't matter who you are, jobs will pull that bait and switch thing on you at all times. Yeah. So you got to stay vigilant and just, look out for yourself. I'm hopeful and glad that Hardy seems to have the means to obviously be able to say,
what he wanted to do, because he never had a real job in his life. Being an athlete, he said most of these guys don't really know what it is to be a working man, a woman. They don't know about these things. So, but the thing I found that kind of stood out a little bit was more like he graduated with a marketing and business degrees, so he's trying to put that into effect. And so he's going for this first step. He thought he was going to kind of be in a training program and do something with the management, sales expertise side and marketing side. No, they said marketing means you're doing Spectrum. So he was like, I'm quitting this crap as soon as I can. I just thought it was interesting to see Greg Hardy, in that situation. Unfortunately for him, but he's not hitting women
not
anymore.
Not the WWE. Greg, Hardy. No. Like we said, the former Dallas Cowboy player, Greg Hardy, because
he was a boxer. He was in MMA. He was in UFC. Just a lot of just anything to make money. Made $24 million in the NFL, and now he's selling Spectrum deals at Walmart.
Well, technically, he only did it for like the one day.
We're thinking. First, he said he's going to quit. Then he said, I don't quit things. But then he said this is BS. So who knows? Either way. Greg Hardy's update there, in case you're wondering about it. Again, they attached the Dallas Cowboys, Greg Hardy, right? Former Dallas Cowboy Greg. It's funny how they always attach the Cowboys to that. Now, Washington, the Commanders, the report came out that they were trying to recruit retired Colts quarterback Andrew Luck last season to see if he was able to come out of retirement and join them. So very interesting there. Washington was scrambling, even though they have all their faith in their current quarterback right now.
Baby, come back.
So that's how they're looking at things when it comes to their quarterback. What about our quarterback? You quarterback, man. What about Dak Prescott, right? Dak Prescott today was hanging with his guy, C.D. Lamb. Yes. And again, we talked about quarterbacks a second ago here. Dak Prescott pulled up to the Miami Grand Prix today, guys. It was on ESPN F1 races. But, of course, he brought his guy here, C.D. Lamb. I love the Dak-Lamb brother. They're brothers now. They are
I really
closer.
do love that connection.
Yes.
Just, again, you can't fake the funk. And the fact that they
They're
generally
are
just
together.
like chilling, hanging out together, not just in a football sense, but just like you said, in a brotherhood sense.
The camaraderie that they're forming is fantastic. I mean, Dak needs to get in line, know where, everything about his receivers. CeeDee Lamb has to kind of be reading Dak's mind as well. It's got to go both ways. So seeing both guys here was again, another, it's not just like one, it's like another place we're seeing both these guys doing things together. Dak doesn't have his girl anymore. Then that's over
so
with.
He probably has more free time. Let's say
more bro time, right? So I don't look either way. They're going around. They're doing their thing and they're doing it together. That's what I like to see. A Dak, C.D. Lamb. That's the connection we need to keep going. Now Dak was not alone there. Also, as James Shea said, guys, Patrick Mahomes was there. Dapping up Dak, and then the CD comes walking over later. So all the football players are congregating there. They're all watching the Grand Prix here in Miami. So good to see Dak just getting more kind of. It almost seemed like, I'm going to be honest, when I saw this, to me it was like Patrick Mahomes was like I'm humbled to be around you kind of thing. It was like Dak is the man almost to Patrick Mahomes, because remember, Dak was the guy before Patrick Mahomes hit the scene. So interesting there to see the respect Dak gets from his peers, from a 2-time winning Super Bowl champion in Patrick Mahomes. Just interesting to see that.
Honestly, no one more than a quarterback knows just how hard a quarterback has to work to try and get to even halfway to where most quarterbacks get to, right? So, I do think that mutual respect is there. Hardware doesn't necessarily make or break, your skill set. But no one's trying to knock Mahomes either.
No,
just,
I think
you
it shows what a great thing.
He looks up to Dak because he obviously came in.
Don't you think that says something about Mahomes too? The fact that he still is humbled a little bit by Dak. And respects him to that extent, even though Dak, hasn't won the Super Bowls yet and all that stuff.
Of course, again, like I said, Dak, I think, has a lot of admirable qualities. And, his hard work, the way he's dedicated to the team. I mean, Mahomes obviously is also, I would say, pretty dedicated to
very similar guys.
Game and things like that. So, but he also, the way that he brings a team together is more with his skill set than it is with any kind of actual actionable leadership, if that makes sense. But hey... he's got quite the arm.
Both guys are major leaders, Dak and Mahomes. And then, it's one thing to have Dak there, but he has his guy, CeeDee Lamb. The guy's been throwing touchdowns to all year long with him.
That's his guy.
That's what I love, the 1-2 punch there. Wherever he goes, he had either Zeke, he's got CeeDee Lamb. He's always camaraderie. He's got some great brotherhood and camaraderie with his teammates, with his offensive players.
Yep, Jay SoCal said it. Dak has the highest profile job in the NFL.
America's team's quarterback. I mean, I don't care if we won no Super Bowls ever or won 20. The point is, I care. But my point is that Dak is still America's quarterback. No matter where you go or how you look at it, to be that in that spot, to be able to be the leader in that situation since 2016, the oldest quarterback leading his team consistently in the last, in those 8 years, that says a lot about Dak Prescott, and it shows the respect from the other players in the league. Super Bowls or no Super Bowl.
Oh, skeptical fan, that is a good point. He said Dak doesn't have an annoying little bro or wife. So
didn't Mahomes' brother go to get arrested?
I think he was formally charged. With the sexual battery or sexual assault or whatever I can't remember exactly what they called it, but you guys all saw that video floating around a few weeks ago where he was kind of forcing a kiss onto a woman that very clearly did not want to be kissed, and I think he did like 2-3 times that video.
We thought he was going to be kissing. Well, anyways, the point is that
again, like you said, it's just nice to see the respect between Mahomes and
and I also think that. When you look at Dak, you're not going to see Dak or any of his family members really being involved in any of that kind of extracurricular stuff, like Mahomes' aside. I'm not comparing it because both guys, to me, great leaders, great quarterbacks. One has 2 Super Bowl rings, maybe better coaching around him, definitely better coaching around him, and maybe better players around him. I don't know. I don't care. Dak will have his chances in the last couple of years here. In the next couple of years, hopefully, successful years with the Cowboys. So we'll see what happens. Now, what about the other guy? The guy on the front cover here, you see all bulked up here, Micah Parsons. He was seen today in an NBA playoff game, his hometown Philadelphia 76ers, or home city Sixers guys. Again, he's from, I think he was born in Harrisburg, PA. So that's the hometown team, basically, the 76ers. He was at the game wearing number 0 in the Philadelphia, not Eagles, but Philadelphia 76ers uniform. So look, some Cowboy fans were pissed about this, but listen, he's born there. That's where he lived. He's a 76ers fan. Let's not read too much into it.
As long as he's repping the Cowboys, realistically speaking, he can rep anything else Philly that he wants.
Right. Well, he wasn't repping the Cowboys necessarily. He was
you know what I mean. Like, as long as when it comes to football, he's repping only the Cowboys. Every other sport.
I will not stand for Micah to wear a Philadelphia Eagles jersey. That would be a major issue in my mind.
That's why I said, the football is football. That's separate from other sports fandoms, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I recognize, players are allowed to be fans of whatever the heck they want. Just rep your team. That's it. Now, only ever rep your team.
I'm going to get back to Micah in a minute here because that actually, that 0 kind of makes me laugh about something. I'll explain that in a minute because I don't think I missed this. It kind of came out yesterday, and we're going to talk about it a little bit more tonight here just for a second. But before I get to that, I want to get something to that's very relative to that 0 to Philadelphia. If you know what I mean, you guys might know DeAndre Swift, but I'll tell you what that means in a minute. But no offense, I don't care if he's a Philadelphia 76er fan. Now, former Eagle running back Miles Sanders, he was not re-signed by the Eagles, still was a free agent. The Panthers, yesterday, I think it was, or today, signed him officially to a 4-year, $25 million contract. Right now, a free agent no more, right? He's with the Carolina Panthers. He got $13 million out of that $25 million guaranteed. So basically, it's like 2 years guaranteed, more or less, of Miles Sanders with the Carolina Panthers. But basically, what did the Eagles do to replace him? We know they made a draft day trade of DeAndre Swift, and who has number 0. And again, but let me just say, the Eagles also have Rashad Penny. I'm sorry. And both DeAndre Swift this year, the 1 point something and change $1 million on his contract, and Rashad Penny, when you combine both of them together, $3 million, less than $3 million between both their starting running backs right now. Philadelphia is paying less than $10 million. I'm sorry, they're paying $10 million if they had re-signed, or a little less than $10 million if they had re-signed Miles Sanders. So obviously the Eagles went with that route, and I think that's not a bad route, giving up a draft pick for DeAndre Swift. But that's where I bring back Micah Parsons. And that's where DeAndre Swift comes in. So he was wearing number 0 on his jersey. When I say 0, I mean on his Philadelphia 76ers jersey. I forgot what player that is. But either way, Micah Parsons and a lot of us got fooled by that tweet. Remember the other day, babe, we talked about DeAndre Swift saying he picked number 0 because that was the number of championships that the Cowboys have had since he's been born.
Super lame.
Now, that's what we had heard he had said. It was through and again, it seems like it was not a real quote. And let me explain, guys. Because we didn't only fall for it, not only did some of you guys fall for it, but so did Micah fall for it. Friday's tweet, guys, explained that the Eagles' new running back chose to wear, again, DeAndre Swift chose to wear number 0. Remember that, guys, because, quote, that's how many times the Cowboys have been to an NFC Championship game in my lifetime. So even worse than the Super Bowl championship game. But Micah Parsons saw that, and he immediately retweeted that and fired back, threw some shade there at the Eagles running back. The post came from an account from Marlo Stanfield. Now, baby, you know what Marlo Stanfield is? Because if you watch The Wire, season 1, Marlo Stanfield.
Yeah, there
so
you go.
You got to catch that there. I don't even think that the media even caught that that's where it's from.
Oh, my God.
But that's where that post, that tweet came from. It had a little check mark, so everyone believed, it's got to be real. We know you can buy your own check marks now. So you got to be careful about this stuff.
Next thing you know, Omar's going to come back and tell us something, right?
Yeah, so anyways, Micah Parsons was pissed off, fired off with a response, and he said this, what did he say? No, he said, quote, "Damn, you just pulled up on the block, Swift." That's what Micah Parsons said back in return to the retaliation to that number 0 comment. So he goes, come on, you just pulled up here. You're going to start talking crap about this rivalry? And, of course, now we know that was a fake tweet. Just going to let that out, guys. Now, he of course, then deleted it. All right, he deleted the tweet, Micah Parsons. I just want to make you guys get caught up on that. So just to reiterate our story the other day, yes, someone said that DeAndre Swift said he took number 0 because the Cowboys have 0 NFC championships since he's been alive. But the reality was he never said that. He never was quoted. That came from a fake account.
Okay.
Micah got fooled, and he responded and then deleted that tweet because it was a fake tweet. So either way, now I think we all got this on the same page, right?
Yes, we're all on the same page.
How's the chat thinking about this?
I mean, I have to admit, that's some interesting situations there. Oh, cool. Says Swift wears 0 because that's how many 1,000-yard seasons he's had in the NFL.
And how many years he's not been injured in a season. Like he hasn't stayed healthy. I'm sorry, he hasn't stayed healthy a full season in his career. He hasn't gotten the yardage. He hasn't got over whatever touchdowns. We talked about it the other day.
I know.
But all that hate, and that wasn't even hate, it was just like a fireback. All that was really in it for nothing because, I mean, it's still true, but that 0 had nothing to do with the championships.
You see, now I kind of like what Landlord from Wakanda said. He's like, I prefer to think he said it.
I would like to. I hope the Cowboys feed off of that in that way, but we know in reality he didn't say it.
In a weird way, I almost want to, just because, not because I want that kind of drama, but because I think that's the type of
Cowboys feed off of that.
Respectful crap talking between teams that just let's be honest, it's good to sell the brand of the rivalry between the Cowboys and the Eagles in any capacity, right? So I'm just saying, like, to me that's just always a good thing. But 2, more than that, and let's be honest, it's good things can be very motivating, but nothing really gets people motivated like being able to go hate on some things that they want to go hate on.
Now we know it's not accurate, but again, that we know that this was...
It still feels extra motivating.
It'd be nice to see the Cowboys come off feed off this.
All right, Joe Scotty, have a great night. Take it easy. Now, Skeptical Fan is saying that Micah just pops off too quick. Now,
so that's the way he is, right? Yeah, he kind of is like that.
Yeah, it's something to remember, guys. Micah, it's... I changed my mind on what I was going to say. Don't worry about it. Oh, cool said... Swift probably did say he's just walking it back now, saying it's fake. Let me see.
Daniel said, I heard it had nothing to do with the Dallas drought. Correct. That's correct. I just want to make sure we verify and correct that.
But you know what? Everything the Eagles do is somehow always Cowboy adjacent. It's kind of like Shakespeare. You're either making a direct comment about us or you're deliberately not making a comment about us, which in itself is still a statement.
Well, now we know.
So that's what I'm saying.
We know it is definitely the Philadelphia Bulldogs. because Georgia Bulldogs, that's what they're going that route. So we can make fun of them in that. They're putting all the eggs in that basket. It worked last year.
Oh.
So you have another year, you got 6 more guys. Mark Hosepian entering the forum
Mahalo to you, Mark.
$10 holla. What did the man say as I think he's fully loaded now. 100 points on the stream, boss.
Yes.
And a little bit, it's a close match right here between him and Skeptical Fan. What happened, baby? What did he say?
So Mark said, what concerns me about is our D is really reliant on Parsons. He is a god. We have other players who can get sacks, but are really not that great. Tank's okay. Armstrong disappeared. Williams needs to be a stud. So, again, that is one of the reasons why I know you're not as big of a fan of the Mozzie pick, but that is one of the reasons why I know I'm very excited, because he doesn't just help Micah. Every single one of those guys that you mentioned, including just the okay to the bad to the whoever, they're all going to benefit from Mozzie being there. So you're right, it does take a little bit of pressure off of Micah Parsons. He doesn't have to always be that guy. And something we've mentioned throughout the offseason a few times here, Sam Williams, the number of snaps that he got last year, on the lower end. Even when you consider, the fact that you expected him to maybe ramp it up as the season went on. But overall, he had, 15% of the snaps? Towards the, I
think he had a total of 23% over the season. 22% of the snaps. Yeah. Very little.
It was like 15 to 20%. I undersold it a bit. That's what I'm saying. I undersold it a bit, but Mr. MCF with the adjusted and corrected statistics there. So basically, long story short, if you do expect Sam Williams to not just play more, but also look better than he did before, that alone takes pressure off of Micah, right? When you add in all the other pieces and, honestly, some of the competition, Armstrong, I do think is, he's got to be feeling the heat. It's not a comfortable seat for him in Dallas right now.
He still might be a tradable piece for the Cowboys going forward. I'm just saying, maybe
that's why I said,
things work out in training camp. You have to wait and see.
So at least when it comes to, the tank part, like I said, everyone is going to be elevated, Mark. So we just have to hopefully put it all together. And you're right, we can't just only rely on Micah, but every single team relies on their superstars, right? So KC relies on Mahomes. I'm just trying to say
I think that's where you see the reasoning why you have someone like someone like Mozzie Smith drafted, is to help everybody else. I think you're going to get more from Micah, more from our other guys because of Mozzie Smith.
Yeah, hopefully that means that Micah is able to kind of conserve his energy and, use it when it matters most. So, but again, I trust Dan Quinn to be able to manage and put it all together, right?
Agreed. Now, I got to do a shout out here, baby, because we have another drop here in the Cash App, and he's the leader now in the Cash App. Sorry, Jason Renfro, but Mr. Stewart has taken over with a $20 holler.
Thank you so much, Mr. Stewart.
A Tony Pollard drop here at the end of the week to try to take the stream, the Cash App down. He currently leads. He said, "Go Cowboys!" Some
Cowboys.
love from Mr. Stewart. Appreciate you, sir. And again, big shout outs. He may be stopping that back to back from Jason Renfro. We shall see as the night continues. Appreciate you, Mr. Stewart. Much love. Any shout outs from him? Read them out. Anybody else in the house? Any comments before we keep it going here?
I did see a quick comment there asking about our kicker situation. Again, guys, still no real update there. But based on some of Jerry's comments, it's still extremely possible and likely we target some kind of veteran kicker in these next few weeks. And Cowboys just haven't done it yet.
Brett Maher could be a veteran kicker. Obviously, we hope that's not who he's talking about. But you want a real veteran kicker that's good. Robbie Gould, you got to pay him $4 million. Okay, worth it. Robbie Gould. You can go with Mason Crosby, a little cheaper. You can go with Matt Prater, a lot cheaper. And again, strong leg. Just saying. Cowboys have a lot of options there. Nick Folk's going to be released.
Don't decide here. Mr. Stewart said, "I'm glad that Micah has the awareness to know his weaknesses, and hopefully the rest of the team follows his lead."
And thank you, Mr. Stewart, the drop, but also leading us. This is where the knowledge comes in, the drops of love and the knowledge combination. Mr. Stewart, kind of taking me to the next segment here, which is about Micah Parsons. What he's going to do now, and that's what Mark kind of made a mention about it. Micah is going to be a full-time edge rusher. Was he this last year? We can talk about that in a way he was. But look, he needs, whether he was or wasn't, will he hold up a full season? He needs the added bulk. Hence why you see that picture I got here for you guys on our thumbnail.
And yes, I know
Micah with the weights, Micah bulking up. You watch the videos. He is completely there for the bulk, but not just that. Is he going to lose speed?
I was just about to say, that was the number one kind of comment or concern from everyone, Micah does so well because of his power and speed combined, right?
Yes.
It is both of those things. So
you don't want to lose
as much
speed.
as we want to see him get more powerful, if it's at the expense of some of that speed that helped get him to that point, we're not really going to see a return on that kind of gains investment. To speak on that,
it
right?
comes down to the hits that he has to take if he's going to be a full-time edge rusher. We'll talk about it in a minute because first, baby, he's taking over the top spot once again. Mark Hovsepian in first place on that overall board with that 5 on it. What did the man say?
Thank you, Mark. Much love. And he said with his $5 holler, I get that Mozzie is big, strong, and a run stopper. But as strong as Mozzie is, he only has 0.5 sacks over 3 years in college. The strength does not translate to sacks.
I think it's more about what the Cowboys going to use. You heard
Quinn?
No. Sheriff. What's his name? Damn, I forgot his first name. Our defensive line assistant who replaced Leon Lett, Sheriff Floyd. He's coming in there, and now we're going to be using, this is going to be different than last year, Mark. We're going to be using a push back in your face kind of defense with the interior guys. We don't want the Osa and the Neville Gallimores that maybe don't push back the pocket as much. We want the Hankins and the Mozzie Smiths that's going to push these guys back, clog up 4 blockers with 2 of our defensive players, and free up the edges, free up the linebackers to attack in a more, using their speed, using their instinct. And that's what the Cowboys want to do with the interior. So by doing that, I'm being honest, I don't care if Mozzie gets 0.0 sacks as long as everybody else is getting the production. That I look at production from other guys, the extra couple of sacks you're going to see from other people, that is Mozzie Smith's sack production. Think of it like that, sir. You do that, I'm telling you, it will make more sense. And that's why, without Mozzie Smith, these guys will not get as many opportunities or as many sacks. That's going to be a fact in this thing.
That we have to have a different type of mindset when we are evaluating certain players at certain positions. And the sad fact is, when it comes to the O-line and the D-line, some positions will always just not look as great. Not because the player himself isn't talented, but just because they don't get the sexy stats. I mean, again, I hate to kind of use that terminology so much, but there's a reason we kind of talk about, this either not being a sexy draft or somebody not being a sexy pick, because again, you're right. The type of guys who don't put up numbers that we like to see, that we can look at a stat sheet and say, oh yes, look at that guy, he's doing something. You gotta give him a few chances to fall in love with a player like that in general. But Dan Quinn sees the value in that type of player, and like I said, a rising tide lifts all boats. So again, Mozzie's job is not to get sacks. If he gets one, all the better. Great. Right? But his job is to facilitate the sacks of everyone else. So my bigger point is, when we let's look at all the stat numbers from last year. I want to see those same guys actively getting more sacks and more numbers because Mozzie's here. So let's just to make it easy. Or new guys getting just to make it easy, right? We'll use Sam Williams, we'll use Tank, and we're going to use Micah. Just those 3 names, and much love, Mark Hovsepian. And I'm going to go ahead and read your comment here in just a second.
You got 5.
But if we use those guys, let's say Micah last year had 8 sacks, let's say Tank had 5, and let's say Sam Williams had 2, just to make the numbers super easy.
All right,
that means Micah this year should have, instead of 8 sacks, he should have at least 10, 11, right? He's got to be he's got to be in the double digits
just for
like we're talking about the type of impact that Mozzie should
that would be more Dorrance Armstrong numbers, right? Because Armstrong had like 8 sacks. Exactly. It's more about Micah had like 11, 12, 13 sacks. If Tank
had 5, he should have more like 7. If Sam Williams had 2, he should have more like 4 or 5. Like, it's not that, all of a sudden all our sacks are going to go up, but each single person who contributed and is going to contribute again is going to contribute, and they should contribute more. And if not, then we have to start kind of looking and saying, all right, where was that kind of failure at? Because I would agree that it would be a failure if, we look at the end of the season and our sack number is more or less the same or regressed a bit. So... also, throwing it out there too, something else that we haven't even begun to touch on. Think of all the people that aren't even those 3 guys that we mentioned that will be more involved in our pass rush game and will be able to get sacks, right? Because something that we saw Dan Quinn do tons last year, right? Guys like Donovan Wilson, were getting in the mix there. Guys like LVE got in the mix there a handful of times too. So,
Jamal
Clark. I'm just saying that,
you're making good points. I want to make one more point.
Don't just keep it narrowed down to only the guys on the D-line, because I can guarantee you Dan Quinn.
But here's the reason why. Why we might not get more sacks.
Okay.
I'm going to give you a reason, just an idea here. If the Cowboys are more consistent on defense, we're not allowing longer drives that maybe bring up more chances to get sacks. You might just see less sacks. You might just see throwing the ball away. You might see less drives. Yeah. The run stopping is going to present difficult third downs and longs, and it's going to make teams have to either take more sacks or just throw the ball away and punt on a short drive. Now, not getting 4 or 5 first downs on a drive, we get 4 or 5 sacks on those drives.
That still should show up on a stat sheet in one way or the other, whether it's tackles for loss, run stop. It might be more of an overall defensive kind of stat. I'm just trying to say, it's going to be much harder to pinpoint to individual players that maybe contributed to that.
All I know is that you'll be able to see
exactly a sexy.
When you see Mozzie Smith, maybe, or Hankins, or both guys pushing the pocket back, the quarterback has to roll out and runs into Micah. That's a Mozzie Smith sack. I'm just saying. When the inside or a Hankins sack, if they're able to shove the offensive line inside and consistently get pressure from the inside or push back, it's going to make the quarterback get mobile, get running, and they're going to get taking sacks or throwing a pick. That's on defense. That's on Dan Quinn's scheme and defense. But in the end, it's because it starts with those interior guys stopping the run and then pushing the pocket back, breaking the pocket down a little bit. That's going to make everyone's job so much easier. I'm talking about coverage. I'm talking about pass rush. Whether it's Donald Wilson, Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence, with sacks or no sacks, we might have quick 3 and outs. And who cares about a sack at that point? We're just getting the ball back and getting points and getting great field position. That is where I would rather see the Cowboys be efficient like that than getting the numbers every single time and just saying, well, that's what it's always about. It's a big part of it. But if we're not getting as many as a whole, it could be because if we're dominant elite defense, that could be another reason why. So I take it either way, is my point.
Now let me go ahead and hit up his $5 holler there. Thank you once again, Mark Hosepian. Sorry about that. I know we're on a roll.
Yes. We keep rolling and rolling.
We get deviated.
Mark, he's 100 points on the board, and he's currently in first place on the overall board coming for that sponsor of the week. He just jumped over the man saying skeptical fan. So go ahead. What did Mark say, baby?
I would like to see Williams and Tank as defensive ends and have Parsons be a roving linebacker who mainly rushes. At 245, Parsons can't play defensive edge all season. We can't overuse him.
And that's what we're going to discuss right now, my guy here. Marco Sepian, appreciate the drops of knowledge and love. But I believe that this is where we talk about this weight gain. That's why you see him more muscle. What's the deal, guys? You guys already heard him say he was at 245. Now he's at 252. He's not going to get over 255. Is that going to slow down Micah Parsons? We're going to discuss it first. Marco Sepian with another 5 on it.
Ooh, thank you, Mark.
Aloha. What did the man say in first place currently and the stream boss?
He said, I'd still like to see Puna. He would be a great rotational piece, especially if Hankins retires or asks for too much money last year. Both need a rest.
Yeah, but Puna's gone. Now he's officially with the Seattle. Isn't it Seattle Seahawks he signed with, I think, now? Or did he leave the Seahawks? Oh, he's with Buffalo Bills. He's with the Buffalo Bills now, so he's no longer Puna is available for this Cowboy team. So sorry about that, Mark. But yes, Puna Ford, I agree with you in many ways. There's also Ashawn Robinson. All these guys are out there, and they've all been picked apart and picked and signed. So Cowboys weren't going to pay Puna whatever it was, $6 million for his deal, whatever it may have been. I don't know. But I agree with you. It would have been nice to have another guy in that rotation and keep that sturdy and not faltering, because we need to have that work so everything else gets so much better. And that's the key there. So I hear you, Mark. Definitely. But I want to say, how will Micah fit in this thing? And let me put Micah back in the mix here, because Micah Parsons, baby.
Well, Mark did have a quick question to add in there. Do you see or know of any other defensive tackles that are out there or available? Or
I'm sure there's a couple guys. It's just nobody that I would say is even better than our guys right now. I mean, shit, they might be close to pushing, not even being able to push Bohanna off the chart. If I think that way, I mean, the Cowboys definitely ain't going to pick him up. If the Cowboys pick anyone up, don't expect anything from that guy. Expect Bohanna to be like his match. We'll get another Bohanna in here.
Yeah,
the best
the sad reality is, I am positive, Mark, that there's probably a defensive tackle out there that would fit the bill for what you're looking for. But are the Cowboys actually actively looking for someone in that category or anyone
for the reasons
close to
that Mark said? That, they're bringing some depth in case these guys, for the future, make sure that they need a rest, the rotation. It does
not seem like that's what the Cowboys are interested in doing right now.
And that's why we have to that's why we disappear for a second and this happens. Mark said it. Mark knows it. If you're in the membership, you guys can drop it as well.
Yes, of course.
So, I added Stephen Jones in the mix now. Into the mix. So the clown show's in full effect over there, in case you feel that way.
And Puna did go to the Bills, right?
Yeah, he's with the Bills, sorry to say.
So
it was last week. We actually talked about that last week.
So, and by the way, real quick, I did see Mr. Stewart make a comment again. It does seem like the Cowboys' mindset here is we're helping our offense by helping our defense. Because our defense is what got us through when we had an abysmally horrible offense last year when Dak missed a few games. Yeah, right?
Again, even though we won, it was still managed by McCarthy in a good way, but the offense was stagnant.
Yeah, so I imagine that once the Cowboys couldn't get the player that was supposedly truly at the top of their list, they changed their kind of draft mindset to end up having it be a more defensive focused draft.
We know they wanted a tight end. That was one of their prime guys, and they didn't want Michael Mayer. So that's kind of because I'm a big fan of Mayer, but they didn't want him. Look, here's the thing. Let's focus on Micah for a second before we finish up with the draft stuff. Because Micah bulking up, we talked about this, and if you look at this picture right here, now that's not really Micah Parsons, so don't get freaked out, guys.
What do you mean it's not Micah?
But my question about this is Micah Parsons, is he going to slow down as he does bulk up? Again, let me reiterate, guys. 245 at the end of the year. He said he's 252. He's not going to go over 255. These are words from Micah Parsons himself. And we know that he wants to get more quickness, a little more acceleration, burst. So bulking up is what he's doing. So let me just say this. The reasoning, I think, is not just for to be able to handle like the bigger 300-pound guys, and he's 245. Now he might be 255. But it's not just it's to handle the injuries that he's had, the hand injury, the leg injury he had last year. He wants to make sure he's built a little bit better and made to overcome the wear and tear at the edge.
Yeah, so it sounds like a bigger motivation for doing this is for the more longevity factor, right? He wants his body to be able to handle some of that?
Yes, for the longevity now. Because, again, remember this one other thing I mentioned about the money, a linebacker, inside linebacker like Micah Parsons would be called. Tagging him or giving the 50-year option is a lot cheaper than tagging or giving the 50-year option to an edge rusher and paying a contract. So Micah is going to go full blast edge. Dan Quinn's, it said you gotta bulk up some if you want to take the wear and tear of a season, and that's why he's bulking up. But I don't want him to lose the speed, the quickness, the burst, and all that stuff. I don't want him to lose that acceleration. Mm-hmm. So being bigger, 10 pounds bigger is the max, he said. He was 245, he's at 252. Will he go to 255? He said never will he go over 255. I trust him in this. Where did he line up on the defensive alignment last year? He had one corner alignment, which probably was a Hail Mary or something. He had 5 snaps in the slot corner spot. He played free safety 0 times. He played in the box as an inside linebacker only 171 times. 171 times as a linebacker. And as a defensive lineman, anywhere on the defensive line, 738 snaps. So, unbelievable. Number one is he's already an edge. That's number one. Number two, can his body take that pounding? We saw him get slow down a little bit last year. So he's building up about 5 pounds of muscle. And, probably a little bit of fat in there. But mainly 5 pounds of muscle is what Micah's saying here. And then you see video again yesterday come out of him boxing. So I want to go through a couple of things we've seen video-wise on Micah Parsons real quick. Just to let you know, I think, where we're headed with Micah, what we're seeing. Because he said it in his own quote. Check out my off-season videos. You tell me if I look fat or overweight or too big, because he still looks slim. He does. He's trying to increase his quickness, his acceleration, and now he's doing some weight stuff. Let me explain some power stuff. First and foremost, he's doing some boxing, so to speak. Right? It's not about fighting somebody on the field. If you've seen the video, he's very quick, very fast. It's about the quickness, the speed. It's going to be using those same things in hand technique battles on the edge. Using that strength, that control of hits, knowing when to kind of stop or follow through. This is where Micah is just one of the things he's trending for this year. That's directing him towards the defensive edge rushing. Now, there's other things he does that I think is also to the power of the edge, right? He's not been playing around this offseason. He's been doing a lot of weights, hardcore weights. I'm talking about he's been doing lifts. He's been doing dips. With the, benching, not really bench pressing, it's more about a lower body. Mark Hosepian saying, hold up, I got 5 on it. What did Mr. Mark have to say?
Oh,
Hawaii
he
Mark.
Said,
what did the man say?
Why did they paste Parsons' face onto my body? Will Ridgeway be a starter for Washington? I will shit if this happens. Maurice Jones had Vaughn as his fourth running back. Wow.
Yeah, that's a steal, right? Vaughn is a steal in this mix here, in my opinion. And again, I always, we do not sleep on these players, man. I'm telling you, the Deuce Vaughn to me is one of the steals of this draft. If, of course, he's going to be utilized by McCarthy, and he better because they drafted him. But there he is, number 42, the new Darren Sproles in the NFL, now a Cowboy. Yes, I do. I'm with you there as far as being I think not a top 4 running back to Maurice Jones-Drew, but I think he's a top. I think he's going to be a running back that kind of sneaks out if you use him properly. He will have a great year for a rookie. Now, Micah Parsons, I'll get back to him in a minute, but I wanted to address the first part of that comment about Ridgeway. Actually, I think Ridgeway
will he be a starter. I
think Ridgeway again. I know they got Deron Payne inside, so he's obviously the starter. Ridgeway might be there sometimes with him. I know they had him start him last year because they had a lot of injuries, but did they lose Montez Sweat? They had a couple guys in there. What I'm trying to say is that he might be a starter, a rotational starter, like you'd see a defensive tackle be, right? Maybe one first downs or some second downs. He might be in there as a run stopper. But yeah, be prepared to poop a little bit because it might be a little bit of John Ridgeway usage that maybe we'd be thinking, damn, we could have had that right now. We could have had that. We just would not have put him on the practice squad or cut him and then hope he gets back to us. That's gone, though. Ridgeway's gone, and we can't cry over spilled milk right now. We got Hankins and we got Mozzie Smith. We'll go forward with those guys. But Micah Parsons pass rushing on the edge, building up to be an edge, being bigger. Now listen, he's putting the about 370 pounds on a barbell on his back, and then basically. And again, I'm not really good with the working out, but I'm basically
it just honestly, even just you saying that made my whole body hurt.
But it's crazy when it comes to and I say lifts. It's not a lift. It's the other one. It's
not deadlifts.
Not deadlifts. He's just like working the bottom part of his body, his legs.
Squats.
Squats. When he's doing it, it's not really that much. When you look at some people out there doing a 600, I think Jalen Hurts does 600 pounds. He's doing like maybe under 400 for Micah Parsons. My point is only this. This is my point. He's building up muscle, number one. I don't care if he can't do 600 like Jalen Hurts. You know why? Because whatever he was doing before, he's doing more now. So no matter what, whatever we saw from the past of Micah throwing guys with one arm, throwing the offensive tackles across the field with one arm against the Niners in the playoffs, he's stronger now than he was then. That's the key there. So you see a lot of lifts, a lot of these squats, no bench press, no real chest stuff. It's more about the lower body getting leverage and pushing forward. Again, a lot of pushing with Mozzie Smith this year in the middle. Don't be surprised. You see a lot of pushing power from Micah to set up the other moves where he's going to use that burst, that acceleration after using the power. So get that power to speed kind of integration going from Micah Parsons. I think that's where he's heading with that. By the way, Marco Seppian dropping another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on it. What did Mark have to say?
Thank you, Mark. Appreciate you. He said, the only glaring weakness on this team is the O-line. Like I said, the tight end was a big boo-boo considering Tyron's injury concerns and lack of depth.
I hear you.
Lunges.
That's the other one too. He's doing lunges. Yes, actually, that was my next video clip I'm seeing here. Lunges he also is doing as well multiple times on his IG feed, right? So he was doing, again, the other thing was basically squats. He's doing, dead weight, I think. He's doing a lot of stuff with a lower body. Same thing with these lunges as well, guys. And that a little less. I think it was about 300 and change on those. Again, not that he's the best weightlifting guy in the world. He's not, but he's adding strength. Whatever he was before last year, he wasn't able to do this last year at this time is my point. So whether or not it's a lot or little, I don't really give a good goddamn. It's about the fact that he's able to do it now. That he's gotten bigger and stronger in that way. He's got more strength. He's got more force. But he's only gaining right now, gained 7-8 pounds. I think I'm hearing 6 to 7 pounds of what he's gained. He will not gain more than 10 than where he was last year. So is he slowing down? After all these workouts we're seeing with weights, with power, with lunges, with squats, whatever it is, baby. After all this is said and done, we've also seen him working out with medicine balls. And like getting out of his stance with a medicine ball and running as fast as he can. We've seen that. That is going to help his burst,
that's right,
his quickness, and his acceleration. Also, you've seen him do. I've seen him do like those things. I've seen him do kind of like putting like almost like a parachute on his back, and he's holding a medicine ball, bursting out of his stance and doing a sprint. This is again you're trying to weight him down as much as possible so he's working. When he doesn't have that weighted down issue, he's going to be quicker, faster. So he's working strength, he's working speed, agility, and acceleration, quickness. And that is why I have great confidence in Micah Parsons, what he's doing. Listen, he was working, a lot of his things this year has been lower body. Other drills without weights that he's done is usually I've seen him running back and forth doing. I always call him the gut busters there in basketball, but he's going back and forth. He was beating all the other guys. I'm talking about he was going against receivers and running backs, and he was beating these guys with quickness and effort. A lot of effort, but I'm just saying. To me, it seemed like he was beating all these guys who are smaller, faster than him with little effort. It seemed that he was kind of outdoing everybody he's just so fast and rangy, so quick. Even as big as he is, with the athleticism, of course, but that speed and quickness, that's incredible. Also, you're seeing him, doing a lot of change of direction, acceleration kind of drills. So again, everyone says he's bulking up. He is bulking up, but he's also keeping up with the lower body acceleration. I love the lower body because that's what's going to help you win a lot of matchups against offensive linemen. You're going to be able to do stuff and control guys. Yeah, he's working with the hands with the boxing, but then you're going to be able to use the power with your ass as well. And
especially
all that stuff
defensively,
with the speed.
Like you said, it's not that we don't want guys who can get turnovers or knock passes down or do whatever it is and stuff like that. But this is just one of those aspects, however you want to call it, that just helps Micah do what Micah does.
And do more of it.
He doesn't just wake up one day and start doing it, right? A lot of things contribute.
Yeah.
I do actually really like the fact that we are finding out a little bit more, or at least breaking down a little bit more into more of the specifics.
Yeah,
right. We know it. Yeah. We've seen it.
And yeah, I love that he's working all these things. He's also, of course, doing the footwork stuff. You see CeeDee Lamb doing. You've seen Zeke doing. When it comes to those kind of drills, all the footwork stuff, lower body work, whether it's weights or acceleration stuff, quicknesses, whether it's medicine ball or things attached to his back, whatever it is, guys, he is becoming an all-around player. He's just a dominator in any single place you put him, and everything. Again, he can do it anywhere. I agree with Marks. I wish that we can put him all around the line, being a moving target for all opposing offenses. To me, that's one of the best things you can do with Micah is use him as a moving target. He could be here, he could be there, and you have to realign your mindset. He's not always going to be on the right side or always on the left side. He's going to be all over. When he's not linebacker, it kind of loses that. But he can also be flipped around. He can also still be movable, and he will still play a little linebacker here and there. But his thing is going to be pass rushing, using that power that he's gaining to also, to help him maintain the hits and bruises and bangs ups that he gets throughout the season, but also to use that power pushing guys back and then breaking off of that with the speed, acceleration, quickness you're seeing in some of these other videos that he's put out there. That he's just getting himself better. So yes, he is getting bigger, a little bit bigger, but he's keeping up with that by getting a little bit faster, a little bit quicker, I should say, really, and keeping up with the acceleration with a little bit of a bigger frame, a little bit of bigger, more weight he's holding on to now. Is it going to kill it? He might be a 4.1 now rather than a 4.39. Whatever he was, maybe 0.2 of a second worse. Not a big deal. We'll take that so he can have that power. He's going to be able to control offensive linemen better. He's going to be able to knock the ball out easier. He's going to be able to, attack running backs with one arm while he's getting blocked. He's going to be able to do a lot of things out there that maybe you haven't seen from him in the last 2 years. As a pure full-time pass rusher, bulking up, so to speak, and still keeping that speed, that burst, and that quickness. So, any quick comments on this, baby, in the chat? Any quick comments on Micah Parsons?
Let me see. Mike Aldana said, Parsons with the LT comparisons are in play now. And again,
I said that from 2 years ago.
I know, and I'm still very much one of those, let's give it a little bit longer. Let's wait and see. Because to me, by the time he reaches the end of his rookie deal, I think we'll have a better idea of that.
I agree.
And I don't ever want to take away anything that LT did anyway,
agreed,
right?
agreed.
But real quick, Marco Seppian.
With that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on it.
He came through much love with another $5 holler.
Much love, brother. How you doing? What did the man say, Marco Seppian?
He said, I am glad he is doing this, but I'm not too impressed. He's getting paid millions, and whether you play ball or clean cars, you should always want to improve.
I understand what you're saying, but I think the thing is this: when you see the best at their game, the best, it's hard to get, always to get better than what you've already done. Micah is trying to do that. Micah is trying to get better than elite, which I think is not every player does that. You know which players do that? The ones that end up being elite. That's not many. So I think Micah, in this sense, we got to look at this and kind of gauge it with the rest of the NFL and players out there on our own team, whatever it may be. They give it their all. Not every player gives it their all. And when it comes to Micah, and I'm not saying they should or shouldn't. Of course they should. But no one has to do that in the offseason. Micah is doing this because he's prepping himself for his career as an NFL passing rush, pass rusher, offensive defensive lineman, edge rusher, for his health as well. But I also think that he's trying to be better than everyone else every year, and whatever even if he's the best, he's going to do something to try to be better than that. That's the difference. That separates Micah Parsons and most of the rest of the NFL. Marco Seppi, another $2 drop.
Thank you, Mark. Appreciate you with that too.
A little J. Lou too.
Dollar holler there. You know what he had to say.
What did he say?
Why don't we extend Parsons now? We'd save money.
We can't. The contract says after your third year. So after this season, the Cowboys would be brickheads. It would be a godforsaken clown show if the Cowboys did not sign Micah Parsons the first day they can sign him to extend them is the day the Cowboys should do this. And if not, clown show. Just saying. Clown show.
Exactly.
That's a fact.
If not, then we are allowed to honk their noses.
Yeah, the clowns. Any other kind of quick things on Micah, baby, before I get to a new coach is on this team, guys, and I want to talk about a rookie or two. And then we're calling it a night here, calling it a week, kicking a new one off tomorrow, next week. So, baby, go ahead. Any quick comments on Micah from anybody else? I'm just curious.
Let me see. So, Rolando Rodriguez said MCF. I don't understand why he's not working out at the Star, $1 billion facility. If he just gets hurt, watching,
No, I think the reason why he's doing it there is because he feels comfortable there. I'm pretty sure Dan Quinn also probably said, "Hey, I need you to work on these specific things." And again, I think that because he's not really right now working, he cannot work with the coaches, just the strength and conditioning acclimation group of guys. That's more for I wouldn't be. It was not really specific tiered to what Micah's trying to do now. I think Micah's doing specific things that are more geared to his skill set. You can't sit there and say, I want to change this whole program around for Micah Parsons. So Micah's doing his thing, specializing in things he feels he needs to specialize. And I think Dan Quinn also saying this as well. I think they're in cahoots here in what they're going to do in the offseason. I'm sure Dan Quinn is helping him, at least advising him. But I think that's the reason why he's there. It doesn't really matter, though. On May 22nd, that's when the Cowboys meet the coaches and work with the coaches on the field installing the game plan. That's when Micah 100% will be there. That's when he's not there, then we got a problem. But he'll be there 100%. So don't worry about it, man. He's just where he's more comfortable and specializing on things that is for his skill set, for him to get better at. That's something that maybe they're not doing at the Star right now.
And there you go, Mark. Hopefully that answers your question there.
Yeah, after the third year. So again, I could keep rolling here if you like, because I have something here that's about a new coach that's going to help our defensive backs, our cornerbacks.
Yeah, let's get right to it.
Any comments? Okay, all right, I'll keep going.
That's most of the comments there, so we can go ahead and...
All right, so let me go with the defensive backs here. And Trayvon Diggs being one of our guys, Stephon Gilmore being another one of our guys. And actually, let me do this here. I can't find him now. Stephon Gilmore, there he is.
He ran away.
There he is. They're all back in there somewhere, guys.
I'm going to get a very quick refill on my water here.
Well, we'll keep it. You got Trayvon Diggs. You got Stephon Gilmore. Yes, number 21. That's not Zeke. That's Stephon Gilmore. But the Cowboys hired somebody to help them out. Both these guys, our starting corners, our slot, Deron Bland, Jordan Lewis as well. Those four of our cornerbacks there. A former Steeler, former Pittsburgh Steeler is now a Cowboy coach. And he's going to be a cornerback, I'll say specialist, but a cornerback coach here. Trayvon Diggs, Stephon Gilmore should be getting a lot of help in the mix here, guys. And
I did have to say one quick comment here. Mr. Stewart, you are currently leading in the Cash App right now. So, depending on how the rest of this night goes, you're actually going to be shouted out
I thought he was above us.
Next week. So, he should be. Why don't you go ahead and double check that?
I think he's up there. Let me see. Oh, Jesus Christ. I put Mr. Armstrong because I was talking about Doris Armstrong. I'm sorry. Mr. Stewart.
Oh, my God, Mr. Stewart. It's okay. You're just under a minor name change.
You are under Mr. Armstrong. I apologize, Mr. Stewart. I am sorry. You are on that board, sir. I'm sorry. And you are also in first place on the Cash App board.
Yes,
I apologize. We were talking about Doris Armstrong, and I was typing your name in, and I said Armstrong.
And it's funny, too, because I was thinking back. I'm like, I could have sworn I remember him, going through all the proper updates.
Who? Oh, you mean
you? That's what I'm saying.
No, I was typing it. I put Mr. Armstrong. I apologize as Mr. Stewart.
If Mr. Armstrong wants to roll through here, that's on him too. But yes, thank you, Mr. Stewart.
I think we fixed it now. Appreciate you, and it's in first place.
All right, back to you, baby.
Yeah, so we have a new guy here from, again, the Cowboys are very much involved in the NFL Bill Walsh Diversity Coaching Fellowship. We brought in guys last year with McCarthy and others, and, you know, Joe Witt Jr. part of the mix here. A lot of these guys. And another standout coach is coming to the Cowboys. We added a guy this offseason, and now we added a second guy. William Gay. A lot of you guys know William Gay from the Steeler days. He's 38 years old now, former Pittsburgh Steeler defensive back. A couple days ago, he indicated that he's hired by the Cowboys to participate in this program, in this Diversity Coaching Fellowship program, which you'll see other guys that we already have right now in this, and they're already making their marks felt. And I'm going to explain in a minute here. Well, here's what William Gay said, quote, "I didn't get drafted this past weekend," you know, meaning the NFL draft, but my email definitely got me feeling like it's 2007, of course, when he got drafted, because he felt like he got drafted now into the coaching ranks. It's a great thing that this program does, and it's great to see William Gay get into the door of coaching in the NFL. He was a Steelers' 5th-round pick back in 2007, full-time starting defensive back in 2 different stints with the Steelers. He coached for a little bit at Missouri State and was also a Steelers intern, coaching-wise, before taking a break from coaching to raise his son. So that was a couple years away from the game. And now, guys, Gay is working under Dan Quinn. All right? And let me actually just put Mr. Dan Quinn on here, because this is an important kind of piece of news here. And again, you guys, this is kind of low-key. I don't know if a lot of people really heard about this happening. But now under Dan Quinn, all right, you got Gilmore and Diggs are going to be recipients of help from William Gay. But under Dan Quinn, right now, guys, and under secondary coach, again, you got Dan Quinn, you got Joe Witt Jr., you got secondary coach Al Harris. And he's a specialist too in a way, but he's going up the ranks. Al Harris, formerly the Green Bay Packers. I guess we like PA guys, because now we're going with McCarthy, another guy under the PA.
Those Pennsylvania Cornhuskers.
Well, right now, I think that we're going with William Gay from the Steelers, formerly of the Steelers. He is now going to be highlighted to work with Stephon Gilmore and Trayvon Diggs, and of course Deron Bland and Jordan Lewis, of course. But under Dan Quinn's tutelage, guys. He's stepping in. William Gay stepping into one of the best tandems in the NFL right now with Gay. I mean, with William Gay coaching, being specifically a coach for the corners. Al Harris is the secondary guy. Joe Witt Jr. does the whole defensive backfield, but also does the passing game coordinator for the Cowboys. And of course, over him is this guy here, Dan Quinn, for the win. Right. So look, you know who else with the Cowboys? Another guy from this diversity program. You're gonna know this name because we talked about him today. Sheriff Floyd. Yes, defensive line coach, replaced Leon Lett, and he's already changing the way we're going to do our defense, guys. Believe it or not, listen to this. Sheriff Floyd, you go back to 2013. He was the 23rd overall pick of the draft. In the season, again, this offseason, he was hired by the Dallas Cowboys as an assistant defensive line and quality control coach, making impact right away. Where do you think I heard about this happening from Mozzie Smith and Hankins, and we're going to be doing this pushback kind of front interior defensive line system and scheme. Where's this coming from? It's coming from Sheriff Floyd, who's just been with us an offseason. Dan Quinn's like, we got to get the inside better. I want Mr. Floyd to do this for us. And he's already implementing a scheme, a system of changing what we did. We're not penetrating anymore. We are now shoving with force everybody in the inside and just making it a clusterfuck inside. That's what the Cowboys are trying to do now. And it's partially, Dan Quinn, but he wanted somebody who knew how this goes, knew how this works, and he trusted Sheriff Floyd as another assistant defensive line coach over Leon Lett, who's got out of here now. And Sheriff Floyd's in the mix now doing this, guys. Again, we had guys in here like Leon Lett, Gary Brown on offense, Tashard Choice, been products of this program designed to promote diversity in hiring and coaching in the NFL. It's already worked with guys, like I said, like Tashard Choice, Gary Brown, obviously, Leon Lett, obviously. So, Sheriff Floyd already making an impact here. And now William Gay working with the corners. That's going to be interesting. I'm excited about this going forward. The more help, the more assistance when it comes to guys that are respected by the players and also know how to talk to the players. That's a difference maker.
I was just about to say, and that list there's not too much crossover in those two categories, is there?
Oh man.
So,
okay. So keep up. I think we got to talk about.
Yeah. So Mike Adnana said William Gay is still relevant. Not too far removed from his playing days, right?
Yeah, he knows these players.
So almost drafted by Dallas, which, by the way, can you imagine not having Travis Frederick on this team? Because it is very hard for me to picture a world where Travis Frederick isn't a Cowboy. So that's definitely an interesting alternate reality to think about, right?
Mm-hmm.
So...
No, I mean, again,
that cracks me up.
Leon Lett is kind of like, you realize all those Cowboys that come back, Cowboys, and then now you're seeing a guy who almost was a Cowboy, and they love him. They brought him back. Linda Wells also, again, came to the Cowboys as an assistant, like an intern, went to other places, coach, and then came back to the Cowboys. Now as a tight end coach, and doing a damn good job of it, too. So I got to check some things here, baby. You're going to have to give me a minute or two, because things are changing quick.
Nope, all good. So... let me see here. And guys, actually, let me take a second here to remind everybody to hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. You guys can follow us on all social media at MyCowboysFamily. And, of course, hop in the Discord. The link for that is in the description box down below.
Man.
And an extra special shout-out to current sponsor of the week, Jason Renfro. Thank you, of course, so much. Mahalo to you.
Yes.
Marco Seppian, who's bossing that stream around with fully loaded up 100 points.
Yes, but everything has just changed, baby. Because there is a battle back ensuing here. Because we just had a drop from not Mr. Armstrong. We had a drop from Mr. Stewart. Once again, he dropped a $20 holler.
Stewart, much love.
He just dropped the 100, guys.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
$100 holler. The drop.
I'll hold my beer for a second.
That is officially,
Holy
I think,
shit,
the
Mr.
drop
Stewart,
of
much love.
the year, I think. Because I know we had $99 drops, but not a $100 drop. Okay. Never. No, I don't think so. Not this year. Mr. Stewart in the Cash App is going to take the Cash App crown.
Does he?
And he's two behind Mark Hosepian. That last $2 holler you see on that screen, that was the lead for Mark Hosepian on the overall board. Mr. Stewart's back two on the overall board. Okay, he's taking that Cash App.
So there you go. Thank you so much,
As we're rolling to the end of this thing, Mark, that's a buzzer.
I was going to say, I'm like, Mark, you're just holding on to it there.
That $2 holler by Mark was keeping his just a little nose in front of Mr. Stewart, who's rocking the spot right now. Much love to Mr. Stewart.
Sorry, that's
coming for that top spot.
That's funny and
on the end of the week here, right? That is crazy.
Yes.
We appreciate you, Mr. Stewart, and it blew me. I almost dropped my phone when I saw that. I'm like, wait, is it 10 or is that a 100? What? Appreciate both of you guys, man. Both you guys are rocking it, and Mark Hosepian is literally 2 up on Mr. Stewart. So let me keep it rolling here because I don't know. I mean, I want to make sure I get to all the information here, but we're at the end of this thing here, and I don't know where I leave off of. What was it? Oh, the coaching stuff. So hopefully, William Gay, Sheriff Floyd, both. We know Sheriff Floyd's paying dividends already. Hopefully, William Gay will add that with he's getting it already control of maybe the best duo at the outside cornerbacks in the NFL. So we'll see how that goes. Now on the other side of the ball, guys, it's someone called ZACK Martin. All right, and ZACK Martin spoke during the home run derby, if you guys recall this. And, man, I tell you, according to ZACK Martin, he said that Mike Soliari, the Cowboys' offensive coordinator, is bringing the edge back to the offensive line.
Interesting.
So, glass-eating edge?
Well, look, if somebody knows what that would look like or feel like, I would say it's ZACK Martin, right? Because he does know, and he was part of an O-line that took no shit.
No, I agree.
Did not fuck around.
But it was different kind of taking no stuff because it was more about, doing it like the right way. The glass-eating asshole way is just overpowering people with force, with anger, whatever it takes, but controlled, of course, and doing it properly. But that is one of the keys to playing a little more with edge. And I think I want to hear what ZACK Martin said.
It is very much a kind of mental mindset, so to speak. So, obviously we know that some of our guys have it. But even if they have it, there are only 1 or 2 or 3 players on the team, right? The O-line has to be a collective. So,
I hear you, and I agree. And I'm a little bit in shock, baby, because we just got ourselves another drop by Mr. Stewart. He said he wants to take that lead, and damn, he wants to take that lead, baby. $100 holler from Mr. Stewart.
Mr. Stewart, holy crap.
Blowing away my star here. That's a back-to-back drops of the year by one person, and his name is, again, we had a night that we'll never be matched in a while by Snug X and Mark Hosepian. What a night that way. They all slept at 99. But man, Mr. Stewart went triple digits. He said, I had enough. Back-to-back. Much love to Mr. Stewart. We say your name.
Another classic.
Woo.
Go Cowboys.
Yes, it was a Go Cowboy.
He's trying to go for the whole takeover there, right? Marco Sepian's held that stream boss
yeah, but remember
like
that
months
is
now,
that's
so,
only through the Cash App, so he's going through there. But to do it through here, it had to be through the Super Chat.
Taking over the leaderboard, the Cash App there. Thank you.
He's got the overall board and the Cash App, Mr. Stewart. Let me fix that right now, guys. Shook me a little bit here. So hit him in the comment if you want.
Also, an extra shout out as well to the Man Skeptical Fan with the giving.
He's got the lead on the most.
Not sure what are we calling that again? The giving
leaderboard.
Gifting
leaderboard. Yes.
There we go.
The gifting leaderboard is Skeptical Fans right now. He's got 11 of those, and Scorpio has one of those.
Yes, and thank you,
everybody. Mr. Stewart rocking the house.
He said our O-line definitely needs an edge. So, and that's what I'm trying to say. Like, if he is bringing back just the type of mentality, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, not obviously, coaching is coaching. Coach him up, coach him down, coach him sideways. That's not the point. It's about the mental aspect and how they're taking the field, right? Like, there has felt like a little bit of a leadership gap.
Leadership gap?
And I don't say that in a mean way, just in a, Zach Martin and Tyron Smith, they are leaders, but they weren't the leaders on the O-line at the time. Like, Frederick really was the kind of the guy in that sense.
I think he was more vocal than the other guys.
And that's what I'm trying to say. Right. So, we have seen in the last, since Frederick's departure, we actually have seen more from Zach Martin. He has been more vocal. He has been more involved.
I agree.
He has been talking more about how he has been doing that.
Zach Martin's become full front and center right now for the Cowboy offensive line. I think he's become the most vocal
And that's
guy.
what I'm trying. That's what I mean. It's been an adjustment for everyone because they didn't have to do that before. So that's what I'm trying to say. If Zach Martin himself is saying that Soliari is bringing back that type, or it was him, right?
Yeah. That's Soliari, the coach, the offensive line coach. Bringing the edge back.
I'm saying, like, if he's bringing back that kind of,
glass-eating, asshole
no
instinct.
Prisoners type of mentality, that is something that we haven't seen, I think, in the last few years as much, right?
Yeah, and we definitely haven't seen that attitude. I think Tyler Smith was the first piece to add that glass-eating attitude last year.
Fresh air.
Different kind of offensive lineman that we've had in the past. So Soliari, he's the offensive line coach, old school. He was there with Tom Landry. Remember that? Back when Tom Landry was coaching, Soliari was coaching. He left, came back to the Cowboys.
Yes.
So he's old. But here's the thing, guys. Former Tom Landry assistant, nobody would really predict that he'd be back on this coaching, back to the Cowboys and back to a coaching position on our team. But now Mike Soliari, guys, he's making a very big impression on this generation of Cowboy offensive linemen. Offensive linemen specifically, because he is dealing with the offensive line players. Now we had Marinelli from a couple years ago on defense. Worries me a little bit to bring back someone that old. But according to Zach Martin, quote, Mike's been great. Mike Soliari, the offensive line coach, he's been great. A lot of energy. I think the biggest thing is bringing that edge back to our offensive line, and I think he's going to be a big part of that. So whatever he's doing, at least Zach Martin believes that he's bringing that little asshole edge, that glass-eating, angry edge that you need to bring to that offensive line, that dirty, in the slop, just knocking people's heads off. And when you talk about Zach Martin in particular, just think about, he is the king, right? King Zach, King Martin. Only 6 holding penalties in his entire NFL career. 6 holding penalties. Chaz Green had 6 sacks in a game. So he had 6 holding penalties in his entire career. He only has 3 holding penalties since 2016, since Dak's career, he's had 3 holding penalties. He's had 0 holding penalties in pass protection in his entire NFL career. All his holding calls, his 6 have been run blocking holds. Since 2019, Zach Martin has only given up 2.5 sacks. Whoever the quarterback was, we're talking about some slow guys back, some slow guys like Cooper Rush and worse back in there. Gave up 2.5 sacks, only Zach Martin, since 2019. Not much at all. Guilty of only 1 false start since 2019. 1 false start penalty since 2019. And you look at his career stats again, guys. 6 holding penalties. 7 false starts in his career. And he's only allowed 12 sacks in his 9-year NFL career. Just amazing Hall of Fame numbers by the great Zach Martin. King Zach.
It feels like you need a new Hall of Fame just for those types of numbers, right?
I'm telling you guys. These are numbers that will go down in Cowboy history and in the Hall of Fame history. So now, this kind of interesting. I'm finishing up here with the draft, but it does come down to some of what Mark said about drafting our offensive lineman early. And we heard from some of the players at the home run derby's charity game. We also heard from Will McClay. And Will McClay, guys, who we'll see right here, in this draft, he said some things here that was really interesting. I'm going to kind of throw it out there. I'm going to say bye for a second. And you'll see the draft that we had here, baby. You're sitting right there next to Mr. Will McClay. We know we respect and love, but...
Yeah, Mr. MCF, you're looking a little different right now. I think it's... Did you do something with your hair?
Yeah, I did have a haircut this weekend. So, again, guys, according to him, and here's the thing, let's learn about this draft, because this we all can say we love it. Most of us say we don't like it, or some of us say we hate it. McClay preaches that this rookie class you need patience for. And he said there's going to be a lot of growing pains, as there usually is with a rookie class. I think you said this too, baby, that it's a rookie class, still a rookie class. And he talked about the expectations of draft picks. Will McClay said, quote, "College football is not played like the NFL. So when you draft a kid out of college, there's going to be growing pains, but you want to pick guys with these traits, with the mental fortitude and the ability to continue to grow." So again, guys, and this thing came from where, baby? This came from the offensive lineman question to him. McClay was talking and referring to the offensive lineman at the time, but he mentioned various traits in just about every single corner of his analysis that he had the other day across all the positions. He explained why these traits matter in scouting and also set the expectation that, quote, "there will be growing pains," end quote. Again, he's making this and preaching it and saying you got to be able to get through the couple of bumps before we get to see maybe what these guys are really about. He said the pro game is different. Everyone must take a step up. You got to take a step up, no matter if you're drafted in the first round or undrafted. You got to take a step up to compete. You got to step up in a big way to compete in the NFL. The biggest takeaways I think we can take away from what Will McClay said: be excited about the players from previous draft classes ready to take that next step in Dallas. So look at 2021,
don't just look
2022.
At your rookies. Look at the last handful of years of rookies, right?
And see what he did as a whole.
Ready to kind of take that next step.
These guys that have made it through since the Dak years and till recently in these draft classes, which of these guys, especially in the last couple of years, are going to take that next step? And then if you want to look at this draft class, the key word from Will McClay: patience. Patience is required with the newest draft class because most of them require a hefty amount of development. Even the best guys coming into the NFL still need a lot of development. And I'm talking about the number one overall pick of this draft, whoever that may be, the top 10 picks, the 20 pick, the entire draft. You needed these guys stepping in from college to pro. 99.9% need a lot of development, including our guys. So McClay is letting us know, be patient. And let's see how this draft class produces, not just this year, but in the next couple of years, as we should be looking at the last couple of years of draft classes. And the guy you don't see on this list here, McClay, Chris Hall, and his squad of scouts, kind of went and picked and signed in the undrafted group. I got to talk about a defensive edge guy from Mississippi State, guys. His name is Tyrus Wheat. And he's outstanding when it comes to speed. Another thing that we know Dan Quinn loves, adding another kind of defensive edge rotation
if you're not even halfway to fast, Quinn doesn't want to hear from you.
He's got crazy speed, guys. I mean, he's in the elite numbers at the 12-yard, at the 10-yard split, 20-yard split, and the 40-yard dash. Elite numbers across the board, so extremely fast. The thing is, he was not athletic enough in the jumping area, guys, and that's what got him not to be drafted. So Tyrus Wheat, defensive edge rush for Mississippi State. His athletic score dropped. He had a 6.03 because of his, I guess you could say, because of his jumping numbers. They really killed him there. Height 6'2", benching only 20 times, which was in the negative levels. So this is why Tyrus Wheat fell off. But these are the kind of guys that you bring onto this team undrafted that had some higher stock and grade on him until the scouting combine and the pro days, and the Cowboys picked him up as another possible, I'm going to say it differently, needle in a haystack. How's that? I didn't say the other one. Needle in a haystack for Tyrus Wheat. You never know. One of these guys, when it comes to I agree with Mark. When it comes to the draft, let's go get quality over quantity. But when it comes to undrafted, I leave it in this guy's hands here, Will McClay, because he goes for quantity, and we get quality out of that. Not many times you're going to get quality from the undrafted guys, but one guy we know that can do this, one scout, head of the department, or GM basically, is Will McClay. We know he does a damn good job at doing this. So I trust Tyrus Wheat. Even with the outstanding speed, and everything else is kind of lackluster, I believe Dan Quinn, will make him, will at least give him an opportunity to maybe make a place for him, at the very least, in the, practice squad side of things. Tyrus Sweet, keep an ears open for Tyrus Sweet, edge rusher with speed, not too much athleticism, and not too big either. So those are his negatives. So again, as I promised, guys, every night I try to bring up at least one of our undrafted guys and comment on him, bring up something on him. We talked about Bass yesterday and Fant. Talked about other guys, and Isaiah Hand and others before this. So please check it out if you haven't. And a lot of great information on our rookie class. Not just these guys you see on the list on the left, these 8 guys, but also the 20 or so or 15 or so undrafteds that are currently on our team. So now, baby, as we get ready to end, my guy Will McClay here, who we do trust in McClay, and of course Dan Quinn.
We do trust McClay.
Yes, we trust in you guys as well with your last comments, thoughts, drops of knowledge. You guys want to throw in your drops of love? You can do that now too as we get ready to end this thing. I do want to say one final big shout out to Jason Renfro, our sponsor of the week. And, of course, none other than this guy, Jason Renfro, guys. You guys know about Jason Renfro. He's the Cash App King. He's got the all-time record, 20 weeks in a row for Jason Renfro. Don't sleep on him. He's trying to go back-to-back, but it looks like right now, baby, we know who's going to take over.
Mr. Stewart said, hold my beer. Yeah. Thank you so much, Mr. Stewart.
Mr. Stewart is going to be the Cash App King. He's the crown holder going into tomorrow. And, again, probably Tuesday we're going live, so... we're going next time we go live, it'll be a new week. Mr. Stewart is repping the crown. But he also, baby, is getting down with the top spot. As you can see right over his name right there, over Mr. Stewart's name, is Mr. Stewart in first place. Over Mark Hosepian and Skeptical Fan, who had unbelievable weeks. We can't say enough about Mark, who's captured that stream boss for now over 10 weeks in a row. Skeptical Fan, who's got the membership gifting, I guess you can say. He's the leader there, and these are very important things in our channel, so we appreciate your guys' involvement. But now it went from two batons. Sponsor of the Week and Cash App King going from Jason Renfro's hands, both of them being given over to Mr. Stewart.
That's
Much love to him. Let us know. Send us an email at MyCowboysFamily@gmail.com if there's any specific thing you want us to write.
Or drop it in the chat now as well if you're still here.
Drop us anything you want us to write. We were willing to put anybody's business, anyone's shout outs that they want to do, anything you want specifically to write there. A family member shout out, we will write it down there. It's your sponsor of the week board for the entire week next week. And you're running the show, Mr. Stewart, as our Cash App King. So appreciate you and your love. Marco Sepian as well. Of course, Jason Renfro, Skeptical Fan, Justin Quarles, Marissa, Brandon James Shea, Lincoln Kane, A. Lavelle, Mark Hosepian with another $10 holler in the house.
Thank you, Mark.
Woo! Much love to him. 2 5s on it. What did the man say?
He said, he made my point. You want to win now? You need players who can contribute now. Mozzie will help the run. The tight end and the running back will get some snaps. Everyone else is a project. We did nothing to help the O-line.
I think that's the big issue with me too. Remember, we were talking about the O-line want help, and we got Austin Richards, which he's all right, but he's not awesome. And that's the thing. He's going to have to be a guy that's who we're banking on to fix the O-line. So unless the Cowboys have another plan in place, and I keep saying Dalton Reisner, free agent for now, to hold us over for another year. And then maybe go big with an offensive guard next year. That's all I can see. That would maybe be a difference in plan or in thought. But I agree with Mark, of course. I thought we should have went offensive line a lot earlier than we did in the 5th round, and there was other options like Osiris Torrance. I agree. But that's the thing. Again, Will McClay is not the one making the call here. Right, Mark? Will McClay is presenting the options to the coaches, and they say, we want a tight end now. We're going to take Luke Schoonmaker instead of Osiris Torrance. That's not Will McClay saying this. This is the Cowboy front office. This is the Cowboy coaches. And again, that's unfortunate. Will McClay is saying he's the reason we got Mozzie, because we didn't want, what's his name, Matthew Bergeron for the future in the 1st round pick. We wanted a guy that could help us now and the future, which is Mozzie Smith. I give credit that as 100% credit to Will McClay. It was a close call there, so his voice mattered a lot more than, let's say, the 2nd round when Mike McCarthy had to get his tight end. And I don't care if they got other guys that look better on that board that Will McClay gave to them.
McCarthy said tight end or bust.
I'm taking our best tight end that you put on the table for us, Will McClay, but that's the best tight end we got. We're going to take him here. And that's it. And that's the way they thought about it. That's the way they did it. So I hear you. I feel you. I feel the pain. Again, a lot of these guys on every team, let's be real though, right? And every team on almost every round, these guys are all what? Projects. They're all guys that are kind of getting ready to be getting better and get some development. As Will McClay said, you're still going to need development for a lot of these guys. So you can call them, project players. But every team is getting project players. There's very few that are first round, ready to go, plug and play, initially throw him on your team, he's going to be a starter right away. Very few guys like that, especially in the first round. Half of the first round was maybe those guys, and outside of that, they're all development guys. So the Cowboys said, we're going to get Mazio gives us now action for the first round pick and gives us later. Everybody else after that was all developmental. It could be better developmental or lesser developmental. That's opinion. That's the way the Cowboys did this, and Will McClay gave the Cowboy front office and coaches the best he can do when it comes to scouting these guys that they wanted. So I give it up to McClay doing the most he can do for this draft. Decision making, that's a different story. That's a different group of people, and sometimes those people are these two. And it happens. Sometimes they make some good deals. This year a little bit better than not. Usually it's a clown show, but right now we're getting through it and hoping that the tweaks that were made are going to be enough for the defense to be elite, keep the offense afloat. And I think that that in turn will maybe by the middle of the year, hopefully this thing comes together to a point where we know we got a team to be reckoned with, not we think we do, or on paper we do, or these rookies with blah 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 blah. We'll see it by then, hopefully, not just talk about it.
Oh, so.
And I shouted everybody out, by the way. Mark got 100 points. And, of course, Jason Renfrew rocking the spots. But he's given that over to Mr. Stewart. So we'll take, if you have any thoughts or any comments you want us to put there, let us know. That's all I'll say. Baby, I know you're tracking that.
Yeah, but real quick, let me see. And Eric Black, thanks for joining us here. Stephen White, have a great night.
Eric Black, Stephen White.
So, I'm going to go ahead and do the final
Let's do
shout-outs
it, guys. You guys are the best, truly, man. You guys... We love talking our Cowboy football, and we hope you guys come. It kind of reminds me of the FDR's fireside chats we're doing here. MCF, not FDR, FCF, Cowboys chats here on the regular, usually on the nightly. And we slow down a little bit. We had a tough couple of months here with the YouTube side of things, but now we're getting back in motion. So next week, look for, instead of 4 in a week, maybe 5 in a week, maybe 6 in a week. We'll see what happens, guys, as we roll forward into the rookie mini camp. Coming this week, guys. It's coming around the corner. Here we come, man. I can't wait. Sometime towards the end of next week, I think like Thursday. I think Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday is rookie mini camp. Mm-hmm. And now we're going to get some footage. We're going to get some Cowboy players with no stars on their helmet because they got to earn that star. That's the way it goes in Big D.
I know. I do have to admit, that is it's one of the smaller things, but one of the nicer things that I like that our organization does just on a whole,
just
right?
Earn that star.
You have to earn the right to be a Dallas Cowboy. You're just not automatically gifted that.
It's that navy blue silver and that star. Always. Over everything. You know it. Yes. That's the way it goes here. We went to 6 and beyond. So maybe, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to stop you.
Yeah, no, all good. But real quick, thank you so much, Mark Hovsepian, with a $5 holler. There it is.
There it is. A 5 on it. Another one.
He said, what's scary is the O-line is about the same, and Philly got two sick-ass pass rushers. They are the biggest threat. Any thoughts on San Fran? And go Cowboys.
Hey, listen, go Cowboys. Listen, the Eagles, San Fran, they got some damn good defenses. Agreed. There's no question they're going to be, they're our toughest competition. I think the Eagles won, San Francisco 2, we're 3. But there's no reason why the Cowboys defense cannot, if we can kind of stay consistent every game, I think that is going to lead confidence for the rest of the team. And I think that the offense will just start picking up the flow of kind of knowing where the defense is going to leave them at. And I think that's going to be major. The Cowboys can drive a little bit, and if they can't score, but at least put the opposing offenses deep in their own territory, that is the best way of helping the Cowboy defense through the offense. And, of course, scoring touchdowns.
Well, thank you, Mark Hovsepian, with a $2 holler.
J. Lou in the house.
Real questions here. He said, how do you two work when you stay up so late?
It's hard. I'm an insomniac, guys, so I'm used to this.
Mr. MCF runs on very little sleep.
3 hours, 2 to 3 hours a night sometimes, maybe 4 if I'm lucky.
Yeah, naps.
She naps, yes. She naps, and then
lots of naps.
Weekends are good. Weekends are good. You get some good sleep on the weekends. But yeah, she needs to sleep. I can't sleep.
Yes, I need a lot more sleep than Mr. MCF to.
But also, you have a much earlier day. I have more of a mid-morning, late morning start, and you have an early morning start, so it's much harder on the wife. So that's why you see her sometimes, dip out a little bit. But yeah, a nap here and there usually keeps her going for some Cowboy discussions here at late night.
Yeah, and speaking of, let me go ahead and
it's time to wrap it up.
To do that too. Skeptical fan, much love. See the GOAT.
CJ the GOAT.
Thank you. Of course, the man Mark Hovsepian, Eva Polanco, Mike Aldana, Mr. Stewart.
By the way, CJ the GOAT, thank you, by the way. It's a great show.
Yes.
Appreciate that, man. We're here At least we'll be here. If not by tomorrow, it'll be Tuesday for sure.
Cowboy Carlos, much love. And yes, guys, real quick, I've seen a lot of questions about this tonight. Schedule releases May 11th. Ooh. We will be posting.
Want to tell them what you're doing May 11th as well. Oh, Marco Seppi, another 5 on it.
Ooh.
I mean, he's still getting close. I mean, I guess he could, if he dropped the big one, I'd have to redo the numbers. But he's right now.
Yeah, I mean, I can just go to bed and you can filibuster.
No, it's all right. I want to hear what Mark had to say. You're better at reading.
I say this year will come down to the O-line. McCarthy will be an improvement. Now we are dedicated to Pollard, so that's good. The D is improved, and now it's the O-line. And that's why I said...
That's why you said if we had that whole line fixed and tweaked, I think Mark would be a lot more confident about going forward this year.
I know, but you know what would be happening? We'd be feeling the same exact way just about the D-line. Like, it was a position of need at both spots.
You have to go after one. They strengthened the defense.
Let's say we had gone O-line. We'd be sitting here saying, oh, my God, the only run-stop guy we have is Hankins. Like, we're so screwed. Now Micah Parsons is going to have to carry back there. Sam Williams is going to have to step it up. He better step it up. Mozzie takes a lot of pressure off those other guys, but we're still asking these same questions about the O-line, right? Like,
if there's no injuries, I would say it'd be great, but we know there's going to be an injury there. Tyron Smith is playing. There's going to be an injury. And we're already starting off with an injury with Terrence Steele. So
it's tricky.
That's where it's tricky. We're going to get that schedule. But listen, I still hope, and again, Mark, look him up, Dalton Reisner. I said it before all the other channels. I'm saying it again, and I'm going to keep saying it until he's picked up by somebody. But Dalton Reisner, formerly of the Broncos, glass-eating type guy who's a top 5 free agent at the guard spot. No one's picked him up yet. I know he's got a little bit of an asshole streak to him. Perfect. Bring him. He shoved the quarterback, Ripken, I think, from the Broncos last year. During Christmas, the Christmas game. Who gives a damn? Bring him in here. We need that kind of guy on this offensive line. As just a 1-year deal. Bounce off 1 year. Maybe you go somewhere else, you get a comp pick. Come on, Stephen Jones. They don't turn you on. Come on. So do this with Reisner. You got security there, and then you can play your fucking games with your guys and move this guy here, this guy there, and work on Asim Richards and work on this guy and play with balls all over the offensive line. I don't know. I don't care. We got Dalton Reisner would help things. Would make us stop freaking the hell out for this year on that offensive line. Marco Seppian once again. Dropping that 5 on it.
Woo! Thank you, Mark. Ooh. Much love. You know what he had to say?
Hit me with it.
If we used our number 3 and 4 to move into late in the second round, who was there at guard to draft? I'd also say that we improved on our wide receivers. The Liberty offensive linebacker that we got looks good too.
Which one?
Sorry, outside
linebacker. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, I talked about him.
Did I say offensive linebacker?
Yes. Offensive linebacker. Oh, it's late.
Yeah, that offensive linebacker, right?
No, but I know you're talking about the Liberty guy. This man, I said his name the other day. Darrell? Is it Darrell? Yes, he's a guy that's going to be playing. He's another key piece. I talked about him a couple days ago. Every day I'm talking about one of these undrafted guys, and they all have possibilities. Not necessarily starting off the bat, but getting into that 53 rotation. We had Malik Davis last year, Marquise Bell last year. I know I'm missing somebody big here that we had last year on our
free
team.
Free agent.
Dalton Reisner.
Outside linebacker, he said, Mark.
When it comes to... No, I know we have... I'm not sure which is the guy you're talking about. If it's not the rookie. The rookie guy is the guy I'm thinking about.
I'm drawing a blank right now. Fernando's Universal Top. Is it Bland? Scorpio? Deron Bland? Right? I don't think he was a free agent.
No. I'm not sure who you're talking about there, but...
So, okay, rookie. Yes.
Rookie, yes.
There we go.
Yeah,
so
Liberty.
Yeah,
we got him. He's one of the guys we got here. I think it's Darrell is his name. I think that's his name.
Yeah, the undrafted guy.
Yeah, so again, he's a guy to keep an eye on. Again, there's a lot of guys you'll see pop off a little bit here in training camp as we get closer to this. And these rookies, I think that's going to be the key to watch for some of these guys that are undrafted. But don't expect them to be starters and number 1 guys, because you saw Dennis Houston last year. Out of there in like a week. After starting week 1, out of there. So don't just garner expectations on the undrafted. They might be, if they're really good, that means they're maybe making the 53. You know what I mean? Like right now, to start off things. So anyways, guys, and man, you guys are awesome. Yes, we got him. We talked about, I think his name is Lance Terrell, or I don't know. I got to get his name here, but the guy from Liberty, we do have him, and I do like what he's bringing here to the Cowboys. Let me see here, baby. Did you do the shout outs already? I think you did the shout outs, right?
Yes, I did.
Let me just...
So, let's say, just in case, I guess, let me just...
There he is. Darrell Johnston. Darrell Johnson.
There you go.
There he is, guys. Just want to say from Liberty, Sackmaster. Again, lower production school. But that's okay. The Cowboys can work with those guys and maybe find that, again, I want to say diamond in the rough. I don't want to say needle in the haystack. I'm going to find that impact player in the rotation. How's that? How's that for you guys? So, baby, on that note, anything else we got to talk about here before we call it a night, call it a week?
No, I think, like I said, I think we shout out everybody, gave everybody the proper due they deserve.
As you can see, Mr. Stewart's taken over here. First place this week. He's taken over the sponsor week from Jason Renfro. Also taken over the Cash App Kingdom from Jason Renfro. So he's rolling that next week. Much love to Jason on that. Passing that over to him. And Marco Seppian still holding on to that stream boss. Second place on the overall board. But aloha to you with his drops tonight as well. And don't forget, Skeptical Fan, the leader of the gifters in the membership club. Appreciate him, man. Truly, again, these will count for extra like bonus entries in the future. I'm going to track this. Don't worry. And every time you guys are on tops on this board, and for instance, the membership giving, you will get an extra, entry in some kind of giveaway. We'll talk about it as we get there in the future. But all you guys here, truly cannot do this without you all. Thank you for your love and support, your drops of knowledge in the house. And baby, before we can drop out, why don't you let every single person know here at the end of this week, why do we do this each and every night here in My Cowboys Family?
It's that navy blue, that silver too, and that star over everything.
Oh, yeah. You know the deal, guys. Win, lose, or draw, good, bad, or ugly. Star over everything. Here in My Cowboys Family, almost 6 years, almost 6 and beyond. Here on YouTube. Never forget, the number one thing here, now, and forever, as always, go Cowboys. Let's get that 6.
And beyond.
And beyond. Much love to everybody in the chat, dropping the
Kelly
knowledge.
Presley, have a great night. Sorry you made it here towards the end. If you guys are here
show.
now, watch the replay, go on back, check
Comment
it out,
down
drop
below.
comments down below. Let us know what you think.
Yes, thank you all, Mr. Stewart, Mr. Skeptical Fan, Jason Renfro, Mr. Marco Seppi, and everybody else as well. Thank you all, truly humbled by the best fans of all YouTube. You're dropping your knowledge in the chat. We need that back and forth. Truly, truly appreciate your drops of love from above on the nightly, guys. Can't do this without you all. But in the end, as we wrap it up for the week, for the night, all good things must come to an end as we drop out and clock out of here officially for the evening, baby. Relock and reload for a new show tomorrow, Tuesday. But either way, it's going to be a new week starting here on MCF. Next time you see us, maybe we'll be in our cartoon characters. We'll be in some other character. But either way, we'll be rocking here on Monday or Tuesday, a new week. That much left. All the winners here. Everybody partaking in this thing. And baby, before we can drop out officially for the night, what do we got to do?
We got to drop the beat.
Beat's been dropped. It's a wrap. We want 6 and beyond. Tell all Eagle fans those words, please. Guys, another one in the books here on My Cowboys Family. As you can see, the wonderful, our wonderful thumbnail kind of tells the whole story of tonight. So leave your comments and thoughts below. If you're watching this in the replay, we'll be back for a new week, right around the corner. And here, yes, Micah's bulking up, the incredible bulk, as I like to say. I love it. We talked about it. Zach Martin's dominance. We discussed that. I mean, you can discuss it any day of the week. Dak and CeeDee in Miami. That friendship keeps growing, baby. And don't forget the other things we talked about when it comes to Will McClay in the draft class. Wow. Some big stuff there, I think. Some interesting discussions and some real things to live by. Patience, right? We talked about all this and so much more here on My Cowboys Family, where it's always about that navy blue, silver, 2, and star over everything. Never forget the number one thing right here on My Cowboys Family. Much love to all. Stay safe. Every single person out there, stay safe. Hope you had a good weekend. We'll see you back next week for another week of My Cowboys Family news, info, and updates. Appreciate everybody, guys. Have a good night. Stay safe. Peace. And never, ever, 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 ever forget. Go Cowboys!
Monk on the beat.